but in the grand hypocrisy that was life here, that was permitted. Nothing could endanger the new order, after all. Not even a sickly baby. And as much as the death of an innocent disturbed me, I couldn't loathe being here any more than I already did. Every day I endured. Every day I struggled. In my case, however, because no medicine was required for my illness and a nap restored my good humor, I was allowed certain freedoms that the sisters knew and accepted. If I disappeared at lunch, they knew I'd be back before the end of the day to help out and to assist after school, too. I prayed daily that my willingness to help would be enough to keep me safe. A shaky breath escaped me the second I saw someone up ahead in the distance. It was close to lunch bell, so most were busy at work. I didn't need anyone catching me scurrying home, so I swiftly hustled my way along the stretch of gravel path that connected each property on the compound. 4 dozen cabins were contained here, each tiny, consisting of no more than 4 rooms apiece. They were made of roughly hewn logs, the roofs gabled, with no real adornment. 3 new cabins were usually constructed each year, and in the distance I could hear the men hammering nails into the sheets of the new roofs on the cabins that were under construction. Thankful I wouldn't pass that area, I scurried past the communal halls where we cooked, ate, and gathered on an evening. These were clapboard, painted white, with bright green shutters that had little cutouts that reminded me of a flower. These halls clustered around a church with a steeple. The black pitch of the roof looked like it sucked up all the light. It was so dark, so well tended. I sometimes thought the community bribed the birds not to mess on there, as if that was even possible. Still, I wouldn't have put it past them. The men who tended the roof were prouder of that than their own children, and the sin of pride was allowed when it came down to the church. Irony of ironies. Not that anyone seemed to appreciate it. As I glanced over the white walls of our house of worship, they gleamed in the low sun, so bright it hurt my eyes, and it was a relief to walk away from them and onward to the back of the compound where my cabin was located. Moving down the path had chunks of gravel biting at the soft soles of my slippers, and as my pace quickened, the white skirt of my gown flapped against my legs. The wind picked up, forcing my brown cape higher so that it soared behind me. While a nuisance, it made me feel like I was flying, and on some days that might have been a welcome respite. But today, it was anything but. The sensation was freeing, but it was exactly what I wasn't. I wasn't free. There was no freedom anywhere on the compound. Though I wanted to raise my arms and let the wind cling to me, let it cool down my overheated body that was still wrestling with the panic I'd felt at being enclosed in the small schoolroom, I didn't. Couldn't. If I did and someone saw me, it would be noted. Everything was noted down that was out of the ordinary, and I couldn't afford to be anything other than a dark stain amid the shadows. The reminder was exactly what I needed. I didn't have the luxury of freedom. My brain clicked into gear, making maintaining my blank face easy. Since I'd learned to shield everything, my thoughts and feelings, from ever showing in my expression, I had become a blank canvas by choice. 2 months to go. The 4 words were a prayer of my own. 2 months until I'm 18. Until I could leave this place. Until I was free. I wanted to shudder, but didn't. There was no relief to be found just yet. The gravel crunched under my feet, but I tilted my head back as a sunbeam drenched me in its warmth. After the sharp cold from the wind, it was a delicious sensation that made me want to curl up like a cat in a ball.
If that isn't the prettiest picture I've seen in a long time.
The words had disgust whispering through me, and though I swiftly tipped my chin forward to stare at the man whose interest was becoming unavoidable, I allowed one emotion to bleed through my expression.